Official Records unfolds with a calm, deliberate rhythm, tracing the arc of Jean-Luc Brunel's life and the documented investigations that surrounded him. Jean-Luc Brunel was born in 1946 in France. Source: French Public Records. By the mid-1970s, he was already immersed in Paris's fast-moving fashion world. With his brother Arnaud, he helped manage agencies that connected new faces with major runways. Source: Les Parisiennes, 2019. In 1978, Brunel co-founded Karen Models, a Paris agency that gained influence throughout Europe and the United States. Source: Le Monde, 2019. Trade papers from the 1980s credited him with scouting several models who later became commercial names. Source: Archived Women's Wear Daily, 1988. Through the 1990s, Brunel expanded his work to the United States, launching MC2 Model Management with offices in Miami and New York. Source: Florida Corporate Filings. At the time, his public image was that of an energetic business figure linking the continental fashion circuits. Yet this same international reach would later draw scrutiny. When financier Jeffrey Epstein rose to infamy, investigators began examining the network of associates that had moved through his social and business orbit. Source: Miami Herald, 2019. Flight records and investment documents cited by journalists showed that Epstein-controlled companies helped fund or support MC2's operations. Source: Miami Herald, 2019, U.S. District Court Exhibits, 2018. Brunel, through his attorneys, publicly and repeatedly denied any knowledge of or participation in criminal activity, insisting that his dealings with Epstein were purely financial and legitimate. Source: AFP 2015. When U.S. prosecutors in the Southern District of New York filed their indictment against Epstein in July 2019, they described co-conspirators and associates, but did not name Brunel among the charged defendants. Source: SDNY Indictment 2019, paras 1-7. However, those filings prompted parallel action in France. In August 2019, the Paris prosecutor opened a preliminary investigation into possible sexual exploitation and trafficking of minors, with possible links to Epstein's operations. Source: Paris Prosecutor Press Release, 2019. French reporters noted that Brunel's name appeared in witness accounts provided to investigators, but at that stage he faced no formal accusation. On December 16, 2020, French police detained Jean-Luc Brunel at Charles de Gaulle Airport as he prepared to board a flight to Senegal. Source: Le Monde DEC 17, 2020. Authorities took him into custody for questioning under orders from investigating magistrates directing the Epstein-related probe. 2 days later, he was formally placed under judicial investigation, a French procedure known as mise en examen, on charges of rape of minors over 15 years and sexual harassment. Source: French Judiciary Statement 2020. Brunel denied the accusations through counsel, but was ordered held in pre-trial detention while magistrates collected additional evidence. As legal experts explained, the process would have led either to a dismissal or to a referral for trial, depending on investigative findings. Source: Code des procédures pénales, Art. 80.1. While in custody, Brunel continued to claim innocence. His defense team petitioned several times for conditional release, arguing that he had cooperated fully with investigators and posed no flight risk. Source: AFP, January 2021. The requests were denied. Between 2020 and 2022, journalists following the Paris case reported that prosecutors had interviewed numerous witnesses at home and abroad, some describing events from decades earlier. Source: France 24, 2021. The inquiry remained confidential, with testimony and evidence under judicial seal. On December 19, 2022, French officials confirmed that Jean-Luc Brunel was found deceased in his cell at the La Santé prison in Paris, in what authorities described as death by apparent suicide. Source: Paris Prosecutor Statement 2022. An autopsy conducted under the supervision of the public prosecutor found no evidence of foul play. Source: AFP 2022. Under French law, his death automatically ended the criminal proceedings, though civil claims, where allowed, could continue against his estate or insurers. Source: Code des procédures pénales, Art. 6. By the time of his death, no court had delivered a conviction or final judgment against him. The Epstein Files series includes Brunel's case not to sensationalize but to preserve a verified record, a portrait of how a high-profile professional in a powerful industry became entwined in one of the most far-reaching criminal investigations of recent years. The facts presented derive from official court filings, prosecutorial announcements, and major reputable journalism across the U.S. and France. Brunel's story also highlights the tension between presumption of innocence and public demand for accountability. Where allegations remain unproven, phrasing such as reported or alleged must frame every claim. The right of each individual to a fair process stands alongside the imperative to document systemic abuse when substantiated. The episode closes with a reflection rather than a judgment. Jean-Luc Brunel's name, once associated with glamour and global modeling success, concluded within court archives and investigative files. His death left unanswered questions: the full extent of his role in Epstein's world, the veracity of contested testimonies, and what safeguards the fashion industry has since adopted to protect its youngest participants. These questions, which are still investigated by authorities and journalists, remain part of the broader pursuit of transparency that continues long after individual cases have ended. Source: Le Monde 2022, France 24, 2022. Across 12 to 15 minutes, the rhythm of the narration stays even: careful pacing, factual detail, translation of legal terms into plain language, and emphasis on documented evidence. Brunel's life and the investigations surrounding him now rest on the record, an unembellished chapter in the enduring archive of the Epstein Files, official records.